Let's bring in Kevin Hassett, director of the White House National Economic Council. Kevin, thank you very much. Good to have you here today. Obviously, the EU deal was an enormous deal. There's a lot of pushback in the EU that, that they buckled to this deal under President Trump's persuasion. It's a 15% tariff deal, which is obviously significant. These are our allies. So now the focus turns to an adversary of ours and a huge trading partner of ours. How do you see this negotiation with China at this point?
Right. Well, I was given quite a bit of briefing about the ongoing negotiations, and the president is going to get the final briefing from Jamieson Greer and Secretary Hassett tomorrow, at which point he's going to see the details of what was negotiated, and he'll make the final call. But I got to say that it was really a heartening readout of what happened. That, as you know, that President Trump and President Xi are very close. But one of the things I've seen is that the Chinese counterparts and Secretary Hassett and Jamieson Greer are building a positive working relationship where there are people that they can talk to work things out. And so I think that what we're hearing is a very, very positive meeting, and that we expect that the president's going to be very pleased with things. And of course, him being President Trump, he's going to find things to improve. But if you look back at the history over the last 2 weeks, that we've had the biggest trade deals in American history. We had Japan open up their market to our products, give us more than $500 billion and accept a 50% tariff. And Europe, our largest trading partner, just basically did the same. And so we've got more than $1 trillion of commitments of investment into the U.S. while they're accepting the fact that we have tariffs. Now, I know there's some European countries that are grumbling about that, but the fact is that they gave the authority to negotiate this deal to the EU, and we negotiated with the EU in good faith, and we got a great deal for us. And I'm sure in the end they're going to recognize that it's a great deal for them, too.
And it's been out of balance for quite some time, and perhaps they see that. They also obviously want the support for Ukraine, which is important to them because it's right on their border. This is Steve Bannon. Some of the sort of MAGA voices are not happy with this NVIDIA H2O chip deal, allowing Chinese military to buy these NVIDIA chips because they feel that that's a national security concern. And this is obviously how complicated this is. And I know you talk about the fact that there's a good relationship there, and that sounds like a good way to sort of begin to talk and get something nailed down here. But there are national security concerns. Here's what he says. American companies spent decades being made fools of, getting duped by the Chinese Communist Party, transferring the crown jewels of our technology. For that, they got nothing. Unbelievably, the government is poised to make the same humiliating mistake, he says. What do you say to him?
Well, I enjoyed working with Steve very much and respect his opinion on this after very, very careful scrutiny of all the factors that President Trump and his team decided to let the NVIDIA chips go. And one of the risks that you have to take seriously is that if China's not buying chips from us, then they're innovating, making their own chips. And the one thing we don't want is for them to jump ahead in the race for chips because they have a monopoly in the Chinese market, and they therefore get all the monopoly profits and then use those to advance beyond where we are. And so I think that you have to weigh a lot of different things. You don't want China to become the world standard for AI chips, and so we have to win that horse race. And so taking our lower end chips and letting China have them while our best chips are still kept for us, I think was a decision that the team made, and I think that it was a wise one.
So I got to let you go, but any
Thanks,
chance of a surprise from Jerome Powell? Guess what? I'm actually going to cut rates tomorrow when they meet.
We respect the independence of the Fed. We'll see what the Fed thinks after they look at the
Do you want to be Fed chief next?
Yeah, no comment.
No comment. It's not a no. It's not a no. Kevin Hassett, thank you very much. Good to see you as always, sir. Thanks for your time.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.